Hello crafters, Raquel here with Paints and Glitter. Let me introduce you today to the amazing Aperture Box die set. This is a 15-piece die set from Tonic Studios. It comes with some gorgeous panels that you can use both for box making or card making. I am going to create a sample for you today and then also show you some other ways that you can use this die. You're going to receive full instructions. They won't look like this. And then you're going to get your sleeve with your magnet because this is a showcase die set. I'm first going to go over the pieces that you'll receive. They are right here. And then let's talk about how you're going to be using these. So first of all, the solid pieces is what I like to point out first. They create sort of the base of your 3D creation, and this is going to be the largest one, and it's a longer piece here. It does measure about 8¼ inches long, but just about 4 inches wide. So just to let you know, I did use one sheet plus 4 inches wide of another to create the panels that you're going to see in a moment. Then you're going to have this piece here. This is going to create both the lid and the bottom of the box, and then you're going to be using this circle along with it for 2 of those pieces, so we'll get back to that. You're going to have this piece here that you'll cut out 4 times for the base of your box as well, because this is a unique box in the sense that this longer piece here will actually wrap around this one. So 4 of these. Then you have side panels that you can cut out with this rectangle that you see here. Obviously you can tell that it will fit onto that, and then it also will fit onto this space here. So depending on how you want to decorate your box, you can use that panel. You're also going to receive these circles here that you can tell have a floral flourish on one edge there. And then there's another one here. So let's go over that one really quickly. Those two will actually match up, or pair up, I should say, with this piece here. And what's unique about this set is that these pieces have some little notches on the end. Once you have all 4 of these panels cut out, what you will do is that you're going to select how you're going to decorate the top of your box. I'm going to start this first, and then the assembly will be much easier in my opinion. So here's what you do. You take that die that you use to cut out your panels, and then you take your decorative die that you're going to use to cut out of that center, place that here, and you're going to notice that there are 3 notches. There's a 1, a 2, and a 3, okay? This die here will emboss the same notches onto that paper. So there's a 1, a 2, and a 3, but if in case you didn't get to see the embossing, you can definitely use that die, and then just match this right back up to the notch that you desire. So it's up to you which way this is going to face. I'm going to match the 1. This is how I want it to look. So I'm going to face that way and make sure it's nice and centered all the way around, and that's where I'm going to place my low-tack tape. So make sure that that die stays in place. I'm going to use 2 pieces here just until I'm comfortable there. Okay, now I'm going to remove that outer die. I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine, and I'll come back and share what that looks like. I'm now going to remove this die, and let's see what it looks like. It's kind of exciting to see the reveal, and it's so pretty. Okay, so how easy that was. Now let's repeat the same thing with this one here. So very pretty. And you have to bear in mind that this is a square box, so these items or these panels are actually going to cross each other like so. Okay, so it's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the best way that I can visualize it. And then 4. So that's how you're going to see it on the top of the box. So if you want this one to be opposite of that the decision to match the number 1 notch again. I thought I would be mixing and matching, but as it turns out, I'm going to repeat the same step here. So I'm going to grab my low-tack tape. I'm going to use that again, facing this where I need it. I'm matching up notch number 1, placing my die right in the center, and then tacking it down with that low-tack tape. Makes life so much easier. Removing that large die, and I'm going to run this again, and we'll see what that one looks like. A plain circle, so that's going to be the 3rd one that I will be using. So that's just easy peasy, matter of just centering that one, and then once I have those cut out, I'll be back and share what they look like. Last one I'm actually going to keep as a solid because that's where I'm going to be adhering this beautiful floral circle here. Now I'm going to set these aside for just a moment. This panel here, and when you cut it out, you're going to want to cut it out 4 times. Now which paper you use is up to you. I've cut out 2 panels in this beautiful dusky rose floral pattern with a green background, so you can tell they're different already. And then I used a 300 GSM card that I had left over from other projects. I love to make sure I use up my stash. I cut that out 2 times, and for 2 of them, what you're going to do is the same way that you cut out the solid ones. You see here, you have now a matching circle that you'll layer in the center. So it's the same way that we did the very ornate ones. Then you remove the large one. You have that circle there. You've tacked it down with your low tack tape, and it's going to cut out that center. So what I'm doing is one in the lighter color here, it just happens to be ivory, it doesn't really matter what color it is, and then the other one in that beautiful floral pattern. So again, you need 2 with an opening, 2 solid. Okay, this side panel here, you need 4 in total, so we're going to actually start there. So I have my 4 panels cut out. You're going to notice that they have this ridge here on the side, a lot of score lines, and then the little tabs here are actually quite sharp instead of undulated or square. And what you want to do is start getting your panels ready to fold. So you do have 2 score lines on the top and bottom, so you can go ahead and fold those right away. You're going to do this with all 4 of them. And then you have an outermost tab here. Okay, that's the widest one. But for the ones that have all of these lines here, what you want to do is start curling your paper. Okay, that's why those score lines are there. You can use your tool, or if you want to, you can even use a glitter marker. It's a perfect size, and just curl your paper around it. Just get it used to curling. So you can do that 4 times to get these panels ready, and I'll do that. I'll be right back. To get this started, what I'm going to be doing is adhering all 4 of these panels together side by side using that widest tab on the side here. I'm going to use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to do this. And this is Ballet Pink Craft Perfect cardstock from Tonic Studios, which you can grab in a pack of 10. And it's 80 pound in weight. It's very pretty paper, and it's wonderfully sturdy for 3D makes. So if you're concerned about what weight of paper to use, I recommend this one because of the fact that you need that curve in your paper. So I would not recommend going heavier than that. for this particular type of box. I'm going to repeat this here in the next tab there. Add my next little panel here, and you can tell I've already added all the curves and scoring, or not scoring, burnishing. So just press on that. Okay, one more panel. All right, once you have these, you can now close this off. It should meet right in the middle here. So I'm going to adhere this tab and bring this over. And you're going to notice that if you burnished your paper properly, this is going to have that tendency now to curve, which is exactly what you want. Apply pressure. Okay. Make sure it meets edge to edge here as well, so you get a nice square box. Might have to maneuver it a tiny bit. Okay. But if you burnished your paper, then you may notice right off the bat that this now wants to curve. And that's exactly what you want. So you may want to start curling that on the edges as you had done before. Okay, you're going to have something that looks like this now. And those tabs are going to be on the top and on the bottom. Notice right away is that 4 of the tabs have the circular little shape there. The other 4 are nice and straight. This is going to be the bottom of the box. This is going to be the top. So you're going to take of the panels that you've cut out using your square piece here. 2 of these are going to be for the bottom, the solid ones. The ones that you've cut with the aperture are going to be for the top. So this one you can go ahead and adhere first. Now if you'd like to, you can place your box like this and then feed this from the top, like so. Okay, you can do that. It's up to you if you're comfortable doing it like that. Now, once you have it in there, of course, you need to have adhesive on these 4 tabs. So I'm going to aim my adhesive right to that tab there. Hold on to my paper using that aperture and make sure that it meets that curve really nicely, right up to the edge there. And you'll know because this is going to look really nice and clean on that edge when you do that. Hold on to that paper. And you'll notice I'm not even addressing the corners just yet. Just making sure that these pieces here are really nice and adhered. Follow the rest of these tabs. And the last one. Okay. Once I'm happy with those 4 sides, now I'm going to go back in and address the little corners by applying adhesive on all of those tiny little tabs. And then I'm just going to push them from the outside in just to get that nice curve, and just hold on to it for a moment. Okay, so I want to make sure that there are no gaps in this. So again, just kind of very gently folding it over. And I am holding this paper underneath just to give it some resistance there. Should look like that. Now, of course, you can cover this all up with that pretty paper that you cut out. So I'm going to adhere that inner circle there, and of course the outer edge. Don't need a whole lot of adhesive if you're using the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, because it's really nice and strong. But this is going to give you a nice clean edge all the way around. This is what mine looks like. And of course, now I want to address the bottom of this box. I'm going to be using the pretty pattern paper to face the bottom of the box in this case, although this is the top, but that opening is on the bottom now. So I'm going to point this in that direction. I think, yep, took me a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm gonna fold my paper here to that edge and tack this down. Just make sure it makes contact there. I'm going to apply my adhesive here on these tabs, like so, now that I have it tacked down. I'm making sure that it's facing the inside here. I'm going to fold these over, okay, just like that. Then I'm going to just push on these, even though I don't have adhesive on them just yet. But just to get myself started, I'm going to push this over. And I'm going to take my bone folder and just push down that paper till it meets the edges of those tabs. Just like that. And I'm going to take advantage of this to apply pressure on the sides to make sure that this adheres nicely. I'm going to hold on to it here. Okay. Oopsie. I want to make sure that I don't press too hard on this. Okay. So now I'm going to apply my adhesive here. And now I'm going to fold those over very gently, again using pressure from the inside. Now that I have all those sides adhered, I need a little bit more adhesive here. I'm going to now reinforce this with the second piece. This is going to be the bottom. So I'm going to apply adhesive all the way around now. This is going to go right on top of this. Our box base is now complete. You can see that pretty paper on the inside, and then of course it matches the top there. The next thing that we can do now is that we're going to use those pretty side panels that we had cut out. Now these need to be folded, of course, and you want to burnish those folds. Now would be the time also to adhere vellum onto here with a larger circle die, perhaps, if you wanted to do that. And this small tab folds like that. So repeat that on all of the tabs here. For this, I have used the specialty cardstock from Tonic Studios called Snowbound. It has a gorgeous, gorgeous finish on it that is pearlescent, and it has a beautiful pattern on it. 3 apertures and then a solid one. And on the sides here, there's a rectangle on your die set that's going to allow you to cut out solid panels that look like this. What I've done is cut mine out of the ombre green glitter card from Tonic Studios, and then from the one panel that cuts out this floral design here, you can see it there, I've used some pink pearlescent card from Tonic Studios. And what I'm going to do is that on 2 of these I am going to layer this beautiful design, and then on the other 2 I'm actually going to layer this beautiful design, and that is the solid dusky rose paper. So I'm first going to do that before I start assembling this. And here I just need adhesive on the edges. And this pattern is so very pretty. And just strategically place adhesive on the leaves and some of the flowers. Layer these. You can definitely use that same die set that cuts out that pretty pattern, and you can actually cut into this base. It really depends on what it is you want to do or how elaborate you want to make this. I've adhered my panels onto the sides of these pieces. I am going to adhere the tabs on the bottom of my box. So these are going to cover the sides here, just like so. And then apply pressure. I want this flourish on this little corner here so that when I close it, it looks like that. So I'm going to actually place this tab on this side here. so that I don't have to struggle with the placement, then I'm going to close this one off first. Then I'll wrap this around and apply my adhesive there on that edge, just on the tab. Fold that over. Okay, it's starting to come together. I'm going to open this one more time. And on this layer, the way that I wanted it to close is to have that pretty floral paper here. So because of the way that these patterns are going to overlap, I want to make sure that I can see those pretty flowers. So I'm first going to gauge how this is going to look. And I can tell that I need my flowers kind of over here on this little corner. So that's exactly how I'm going to place that. Now I know what it's going to look like. So I'm going to make sure that this is nice and centered, as this will overlap it. Okay, I'm going to place the little notch right in there. Close the other two. And then I'm going to flip this all upside down and place my adhesive on the last tab here. Okay, I was evaluating my choices and I decided that as I had cut that last panel with the flowers, thinking that they were going to match exactly, and they didn't, I went ahead and just took my little scissors and addressed that situation, because I took the panel and I simply snipped away the flower that was there. It just wasn't exactly looking the way that I wanted it to, but I got to thinking, it's no problem, of course, because all I did was snip away that little decorative portion from there. And now this is looking more like what I wanted it to, but I don't want to let this go to waste. So what I'm going to do is that I took a piece of that same ballet pink card, and now I'm going to adhere this flower onto that pink cardstock, and I'm only adhering the edge of that flower and the center onto the pink card here. So all I have to do now is cut away what I don't want of that pink card in the background. Okay. And there is the little flower all ready to go. And of course you can save the other leaves if you want to. What I want to do here is that I'm going to adhere this right on top of this flower, because it's now not going to have anything on top of it. The last little aperture here is just going to be a simple circle. So I'm going to now place some adhesive right in the center of that flower, and I'm going to look to see how well I can match it, which should be no problem. And I'm now just going to place that right on top. Okay. And it's not going to be a problem from the back, in case you're wondering. It'll just look solid from that side. And if you're really, really worried about it, you can definitely take a circle and vellum and just adhere it onto the back of that, and that'll be absolutely fine. Now I can close this just like so, and I can decorate the top. Before I decorate the top, however, I am going to put the little feet on my little box. They look like this. I've cut out 4, and what I decided to do was embellishment mousse in toasted almond. I think that color is going to look really nice with this project, and I'm going to color these, and I'll be right back. A combination of toasted almond on these little pieces, and now I'm following that through with Sea Spray Green. Just really like that combination. It gives it that pearlescent look, but with, of course, that touch of green, which to me reminds me of verdigris patina. And I'm just going to set that aside. This box, of course, you want to start curving this, and just using your hand should be sufficient. The little tabs here on the top are all going to curl and form almost like a U shape like that, because this is going to go right on the curve of that box there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use hot glue for mine. I think it's going to be more efficient for me. And hold it in that position and meet up to that curve. I'm going to make sure it's right at the edge, like so. Of course, you want to clean away any glue strings that you might get. Now, if your box gets a little bit dented, don't worry. A little gentle squeeze will help you get it right back to where it needs to be. So don't be too nervous if that happens. It's just the nature of the paper. So I'm just going to actually open mine. And show you can press that paper right back out. Okay. I can cover it all up and make sure it's nice and clean and tidy by placing another pretty panel. And of course, you use the paper that you like, especially on the corners. And then making sure that those tabs are all covered here as well, and then the center. I'm going to give it a nice pretty finish. So I was thinking these little corner pieces that you can certainly place here on the top to decorate. It's up to you, because it's going to allow you to have kind of a hidden corner there once this is all closed. Depending on what you're doing with this box, you can certainly take multiples of these and then place them on the corner of the box, like so, and place them on opposite corners and create little photo corners where you can place a little picture on each side if you want to. Also on here. So if you place them on one on the bottom and then one on the opposite side here, corner, then there's no reason why you couldn't slip in a little picture, and then this could become what we refer to as a little explosion box, because you could have a little hidden message on each panel or any little pictures, including, in fact, the inside here. So I think that's a really clever way to use this. What I'm going to do is just to show you how I'll be closing mine. First is going to be this little solid panel, then this one, which will slide right in that. Then I'm doing my little floral one, then the solid circle, that of course is now solid. Then, of course, in addition to all of this beauty, as if that were not enough, you also have little dies here that will cut out little rolled flowers. So here's one that I had cut out in ivory cardstock. I did color it with embellishment mousse as well as an alcohol marker. You can kind of see a tiny little bit of pink shadow. It's a little bit difficult to see on camera, but you can definitely cut out these beautiful leaves as well. I've used rose gold mirror card there, and then I've used some gold card from Tonic Studios, and of course you can strategically now place this around. Let me show you how to make a little flower. So it's super simple. You get a tool like this one. It has a little slit in the center of that tip. It allows you to feed the paper right into the tool. Depending on if you're left or right-handed, you can roll away from you or toward you. It's all personal preference. And you're just going to start twirling this, and this is called a quilling tool. You want to use your fingers to kind of make sure that the paper does not slide off the tool. And it's just a matter of rolling it from one end to the other. You want to be patient with this, depending on your comfort level, of course. Just keep rolling it. And this makes a good size flower also. I'm happy for the size they went with. Okay, you want to make sure that this little end piece there is available for you, because you're going to roll this all the way until you reach that little circle at the end. If you pinch this together, you're going to have this little circle available to you. So that's where you can place your adhesive, or you can place it in the center of the flower. It's up to you. I'm going to use hot glue and just place a little drop of adhesive there. And when I place my flower on top, I'm going to start letting go of it a little bit so that my little curl is not so tight. And then just press down on that. Okay, and depending on how tight you rolled that, you're going to get a different look to your flower. But then you can start pulling apart those little petals with your thumbs. That's up to you, of course. You can go around the perimeter of it and kind of just press on it. And depends on how tightly wound that is, you'll get a different look. But of course, then you can go ahead and place these on your box if you want to. You can use the lid. And just bear in mind that if you adhere them on here, you don't want to adhere them to all of the panels. Just be very careful about that. I'm going to place the adhesive here instead of the die cut. Just a tiny little drop. So using two different colors for the leaves. Flower there. Little one here. Okay. Now I can make sure that I can open this. So if you see, all of my little flowers are only on that little portion there. That way I can ensure that I can open and close the box. Side panels look like this. I have solid ones, those pretty ones, and now of course I can add little Nuvo drops on the sides or little gems. Here is the final result of my little box. I did go ahead and place some ribbons. These are available from Tonic Studios. I just happened to also attach some little heart charms to mine. I just stitched those using some gold thread, and then this twine here is also from Tonic Studios. You can grab that from them if you'd like to add that to your projects. I also added some Nuvo drops, they're glitter drops, and then the drops on the top. And then separately I did make a card using two of the other panels available in this set. I will have a separate tutorial for this card that you can follow. and I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave me a comment in the section down below, and as I always say, I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. Thank you so much for watching.